Opening my tea party just for you. Who is that? It's Ririna, the so-called anime enthusiast fox. It's time to start EX03 Lost Chapter. Seems like it's set in Kowloon, which I'm quite curious about what exactly this one is going to be covering in regards to Kowloon, because the last time we saw it was in chapter 12, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be quite something. Anyways, I guess we'll get started. Oh, I did want to pull for, let's see. No, not this. I think it was the cub. I'm kind of tempted. I mean, this is for Luna, so maybe not. But do let me know if there is a cub that I should probably try getting. Because the only cub that I have is, what was it? Lucia's, and it's the basic one, which is fine, but I kind of want to give my other two their cubs as well. And it kind of sucks that I don't have enough. I don't even have 3, okay? That makes me really sad. But in any case, let's start with this. It seems like we can start in any of the 3. I want to start with the first one though, the EX031. So we'll go with that. Oh, what was your name? Changyu? Oh, so is it about Changyu and how he got sold to the train? Maybe, let me oh, I can't really see it. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Lost Chapter, Kowloon Theater. Testing, okay. Recording should be up and running. The processed electronic sound from a small machine on the ground echoes in the cramped carriage. Well, here's your pay for the information. I guess we could call this a deal? Anyway, I brought what you wanted from that ship. It's not easy to slip under the Grey Ravens. Fortunately, this intel isn't exactly top secret. As for the machine, it's essentially the same thing as the virtual training simulator in Babylonia. I modified the program to input memory data as battle records. Just use the program in the attachment to enter your mind via simulated combat to commence extraction. Due to the large amount of data, when you connect for the first time, your mind will be temporarily emptied to make room for the carrier program. I recommend you find a place to lie down before connecting. Wait, then who exactly is the one that sent the intel? Hope we get to find that out. I hope my explanation resolves any confusion. Well, good luck and I look forward to our next collaboration. Looks like he really did smuggle out the data without alerting the elite soldiers in Babylonia. Huh. Looks like I should be careful around him in the future. Let's see. This button? Program startup. System loading. Iris authentication. Authentication complete. Hello, user ADL17. A patch has been detected. Would you like to update? Complete memories erased by the caller are now stored on this rudimentary machine. How ironic. If that's the case, then I can access everything about the past. Finally. I've made it here. Update program. Command accepted. Program updating. Starting program. Those fragments of memories that keep appearing in my mind. Simulation direction of environmental elements HXGA990105 Kowloon. Battle record 1. Loading. Loaded. Skeletal modeling 25%, 65%, 78%. Import complete. Connecting to mind. Whatever you are, I'll accept it. Oh, so he doesn't really remember about his past either. In the metropolis of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce, there is a corner surrounded by courtyards and old streets. Where such a theater exists, it is lofty and grandiose. It's old and dilapidated. The wide stage once allowed for 50 martial artists to perform stunts simultaneously. Giant props, as tall as the curtain, could be pushed onto the stage without hindrance. But now it has fallen into disuse. Of the 10 dozen seats, now only 70 patched-up chairs are left collecting dust. Of the 3 large theater troupes, now only a few members remain. After all, who would be willing to sit and watch a performance when holographic videos and realistic simulations exist? That's kind of sad. The feeble director sits on the shaky rocking chair at the gate of the theater with a pang of despair swathed over his heart. He had ordered Lao Yu to move the rocking chair here. Lao Yu is the only custodian left in the entire theater. The quiet, brawny man's life is a checkerboard of carpentry and bijou, but despite his monogamic commitment to the craft, his skill is an unimpressive something. No one ever bothered to poach him for woodworking. And so, much like Yu Sheng, he stayed here. Not like there were any reasons to leave the theater. For Yu Sheng, however, he must have inherited his prima donna of a mother's pride. In his eyes, nothing held more importance than the stage. Alas, the theater has long since fallen out of favor. I should just find a good day and end it on a good note. Half leaning against the shaky rocking chair and sipping tea, the director could not help the thought from sifting into his mind. Such is the life of entertainment in some ways, which is quite, I guess, painful to think about for a lot of people who are artists or in the entertainment field in some way or form. The only thing that we can do is adapt to it and then make it our own to allow our art to flourish further. I guess that would be the best way to put it. I don't know, what are your thoughts on that? I sometimes do believe that there is something beautifully enchanting about experiencing entertainment in person, such as theater. Mostly because, yeah, you can enjoy it on the screen, but when you're actually there, it's a lot more powerful in a lot of ways. I mean, obviously for those who have like social anxiety or easily get overwhelmed by the presence of many people, that's totally understandable in that case. But for those who don't have that problem, isn't there something so special about experiencing such events in person? And just embracing the powerful music, sound, artwork, the smell, the presence, the vibe. So different compared to when you're experiencing it on screen. But even when indulging the glorious memories of the past, the director's mind is as keen as ever. He adeptly slings his cup and hits a figure sneaking out of the theater. The figure turns his head in pain, then intercepts the falling cup with an almost inhuman agility. Are you crazy, old man? This teacup is from the Song Dynasty, probably. Do you know how much I went through to buy this in the East City District? It's one of a kind. Where do you think you're off to? Mind your own business. How many times have I told you, Changyu? Changyu continues to walk and talk, as if he had heard the director nag him 1,000 times. I got it. Got somewhat important to be. I'll be back before dinner. Without waiting for him to finish, Changyu hops up onto the wall of the courtyard and escapes, leaving only the old man's disapproving shouts behind. Poor director. Don't try your funny stuff on the Pulau crew. The director continues, but only the gentle breeze is there to listen. After this tea break, I'll have to go apologize door to door again. This is really working my old bones to the ground. Just as the director prepares to take another sip, another troublesome one shows up in front of him. Oh, this poor director. The people from our food supplier and the wood shop just came over and knocked on the side door and said, no more delaying with the food money and repairs and then lumber. What about our regular, any news? No, she said her husband is getting old. No more loud noises. So they hired a VR company for a Hawaiian birthday. All right. Well, off you go then. Lao Yu quietly turns and goes back to the theater. They're still kind enough to collect debts in private. But, how long can we handle this? Away from the theater, Changyu joins a bustling crowd. People come and go in a hurry. Unbecoming looks adorn their faces, deafening music roars overhead. Naturally, Changyu has his reasons for coming here. Business at the theater continues to worsen. The theater hadn't even opened its doors this month. Old man's all against violating the regulations from the police bots, thinking it'll sully the theater's image. But if we can't even feed ourselves, then what's the point of caring about the image? He keeps going off about how if people and machines tolerate each other, society will become more peaceful. Machines don't care if you've got no food in your mouth, man. I mean, I guess he has a point there. Changyu leans against the wall looking at the crowd on the street. Bored, he takes out a polished coin from his pocket and flips it into the air. He then jumps up and catches the coin with acrobatic finesse. The move attracts the attention of some bystanders, who then surround Changyu as they prepare to watch a street performance. Thinking that this might be an opportunity to attract customers, Changyu performs another backflip. He reaches behind and about to hand out flyers from his backpack to the applauding crowd. Changyu had spent the last 2 nights creating flyers for this very reason. If the old director thinks that going against the regulations is beneath him, Changyu needs only take it upon himself. By the authority of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce, street performances are not permitted here. Please disperse immediately. Be trouble if they catch me. Changyu returns the flyers to his bag and jumps up onto the second floor balcony. He flips up and over, escaping to another building. Whatever. I'll let them do their job. At least those rust buckets keep the streets safe. If people and machines tolerate each other, society will become more peaceful, huh? The boy takes a deep breath of the polluted air and fishes the flyers out of his backpack. But even if society is more peaceful, who care about the life and death of some old theater? With that, Changyu directs his gaze to another lively area off in the distance. Guess I'll go post these flyers up there. In this kind of world, as long as you're buying a ticket, our doors are open to anyone. Oh. That's kinda odd that they don't allow for street performances. Lucky I have good legs. Better put it up high so no one can tear it off. I heard transport drones. There seems to be more of them recently. Wow, we get to play as him. Alright, on to the next one. Oh, you over there. Open your bloody eyes. How dare you put up ads without our permission? Have you paid your racket? Us just a bunch of gangsters in the slum. I don't need your permission. Oh. Okay, we got this. Oh. Destroy. See that again, you stinky brat? Hey, my back. That'll teach you. If I ever see you around here again, I'll break your legs. But we won. We won. Wow, it's so big. Abnormal load detected. Returning to the factory. Oh no, I must not let it go back. Oh boy. Lucky I got my hook with me. Ah, so that's how it works. Nice. Oh yeah. Who are you? How did you get up here? Mr. Yin's got this place booked. Bug off. Just let me pass and I'll be quick. No way, get lost. Sorry, but I must pass. What am I doing? Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go. Better not go that way. There have been lots of landslide accidents recently. Okay, there. And then... Perfect. Okay, so this way. Okay, keep going. And then go there. Okay, good. Stop! Leave me alone. Can't you see that transport drone is overloaded? It's carrying illegal objects. You're supposed to suspend the license of that company, aren't you? Reconfirming priority level. Cutting off the transport drone's power supply. Hey, that bag is mine! Don't forget to give it back! Ticket received from Pulau crew. Initiating automatic stop. Ticket dispatched. Identification, Changyu District 12. You're suspected of 6 incidents of illegally damaging public facilities and... Hey, not me! I'm the victim here! What is that hanging on the drone? Does it belong to you? Yeah. Here is your lost property. Oh, thanks. It is my duty to enforce the laws and regulations, but it's also my duty to help citizens in need. Harmonious coexistence with the people is the highest principle of service machinery under the jurisdiction of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce without exception. As for your alleged unlawful damage to public facilities, the disputing party has chosen not to file a complaint. Your charges have been formally dropped. Huh? According to the clarification of the party concerned, your damage seems to come from the need to help them. Even if charges are incurred, they are willing to bear the fine for you. Oh, wow. This is a formal notification. You're free to go. Thanks again. Why have you thanked me? For telling me this. You are welcome. Harmonious coexistence with the people is the highest principle of service machinery under the jurisdiction of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce, without exception. That's quite nice, I guess. Do I go with 2? Do I go with 8? I guess it'd be better to go in order, right? Oh, that's so difficult. I guess I'll just go in order for now. I'm back! So you do know to come back. It's not like I did anything illegal. I didn't say you did. Seriously, I'm not lying! The director grabs Changyu by the arm. Regardless if you did something illegal or not, you are always going around jumping around over rooftops. I did no such thing, I just fell is all. Wait here. I'll go find you a tetanus shot. Oh man, no, we don't have the money to buy another shot. If you already knew that, then why'd you go off and be so reckless? Your food money for the second half of the month is all going to roofing repairs for your victims. Alright, then I'll just eat plain rice for the rest of the month. That'll do, yeah? Don't be mad. You! Hearing this, the director gets even more angry. Just as he raises his hand, Lao Yu pushes open the door and enters. Director, there's a message for you. It's with old Stuttery answering the door. Yu Sheng asked for leave today because it's the death day of his mother. But at least he finished up his morning exercise. Did you finish it? I never fall behind on morning exercise. I ran 50 laps around the stage before I left. Enough. But I'm back. I still want a word with you. All right. The boy pouts. He takes off his backpack and walks back to the yard. But just after walking past the door, Changyu stops. He climbs up the roof and sneaks into the rafters of the room. He gently opens his waist pack and pulls out a bag of braised meat. If I'm living off plain rice for the rest of the month, I might as well feast on some meat now to tide me over. Who'd have thought you could snag a pack of braised pennant pork from Jenny's off of some hoodlum? Wait, better save some for Lao Yu. Likes it with a good drink. Just as Changyu is about to munch on a slab of meat, the sound of the director's voice grabs his attention. Oh, hello there, boss. Long time no see. Right. Last time we went to your house to perform, but you got a cold and had to rest in the inner hall. Yes, of course. Everything's still all ready for you. It's all there. Isn't your daughter's 16th birthday next week? I already have the calligrapher planned for the congratulatory message as well. What? Oh. It's okay, boss. No, really, it's not an issue. Don't feel guilty about it. We'll manage. Aw, he must have canceled on it. Ugh, having a business is hard. Changyu finally finds himself shocked. The theater depended on this in order to live through the month. If this order is canceled, that will surely be the final straw. Ah, I see. Younger ones wanted a VR trip to Mars to celebrate. It's okay, boss. Don't worry about it. For a theater troupe like us, not performing for a day won't starve us out of house and home. The old director's crooked back as he replies sends a pang of remorse through Changyu's heart. With a long sigh, the director finally puts down the receiver and slumps back into his chair. Heard enough? Then get down here. Knowing that resistance is futile, Changyu jumps down resentfully. I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. It doesn't matter whether you intended to or not. Also, quit talking with your mouth full of pork. Director, how about I go pass out flyers tomorrow? This isn't something that passing out flyers can fix. Forget it. You're all grown up. It's time for you to learn a thing or two about the theater. Director. Changyu, come here. Allow you call over Mr. Bai and Old Song in the back courtyard. Dismiss the helpers in the firewood room. Of course. I have some things I have to tell you. Oh, is he gonna sell? I object! Changyu. I won't let this happen! Don't be so naive. The director pounds his cane. After a moment of silence is restored in the room, the old man sighs and opens his mouth. I know what you've been doing to help, but it's pointless. Even our regulars can't convince their children at home to come. Do you think putting up posters will convince hoodlums to come and pay to see our plays? What? Yeah, you're right, director. We haven't had a play in 2 months. Where there's a will, there's a way. You taught me that. We've been performing for years. We can't just call it quits like that. If we quit now, we could do it with our heads held high. Selling the theater should be enough for a fresh start for each and every one of us. If we wait this out then, there won't be any money to line our pockets. Changyu's face turned sour. People used to fear the stubborn and arrogant director, but with the steady decline of the troupe, his hardiness malformed into something pathetic. That's what unsettles Changyu the most. I disagree with him. I think he's being realistic because the truth of the matter is that you need to know when to quit so that it doesn't harm the people that he does care about, which is the people working at the theater. And to him, theater is everything, but just because theater is everything doesn't mean that you should make others suffer because of your decision. And if it can give people that you care about the chance to start a new life elsewhere, then so be it. And it just shows the difference in maturity levels between Changyu and the director. I've also considered who will take over the theater. A member of the Chiwen crew. They've offered a fair price. If this truly is the end, I'll at least be able to say that we're even. The director rubs the wooden handle of the chair begrudgingly. In his mind, the theater is a living thing. But alas, some things must be put out of their misery, and he had to be the one to end it. The director stands there in silence. The fatigue seems to have taken on an almost age-long pallor. No one knows how to console him. And so everyone stands there as well, in solemn silence. Changyu, you're no longer a child. Even if you leave the theater, you should have other ways to support yourself. The director? There's another way, a better way. Let this be the end. These old bones aren't what they used to be. Maybe it's not necessarily a bad thing that I end it here. Everyone is overcome with silence, seeing the director lean dejectedly on his chair. They want to keep living the life they have had, they just can't. They all know that his old and feeble body has paid a heavy toll, trying to hold up this fizzling dream. They even begin to think that it would be best to relieve him of this responsibility. If we could just make it through this month. There must be another way. I'll think of something. Changyu rushes out of the room, his voice trailing at his footsteps. Let the dude rest at this point. The direct... Let him. When Yu Sheng returns at dawn, remember to wake me up. I mean, I feel bad for him. I understand his frustration, but at the same time, I also understand the director even more. Because if you have that many people depending on you, it's just... And you're tired, he's clearly burnt out too. At that point, what else can you do? The only thing that you can do is just let go. And know that it's time. Doesn't mean that he hates theater or quit it or whatever. It's just the way there is. The only thing that sucks about the entertainment world is that if you do not conform to the changes and the trends or whatever, then you're not always going to be able to, I guess, earn like a lot of money from it. That's just the fact of the matter. You have to meet people's demands in order to earn money, and if you don't, then you're going to be fading into the past or whatever, out of existence, essentially. Unless you understand you're basically doing this as like a passion thing, then that's a different story. But if you're doing it for a business, it's just the way it is. At least that's my understanding of business and the way that entertainment works. At least now that I had my channel for, I don't know, over 2 years now, finally. A little over 2 years, perhaps, at this point. It makes you realize that if you want to just do one thing, then you have to be okay with being slow and steady growth if there is any demand. If there isn't any demand, then you're not gonna get anything watched. And then if you only do the things that people really consume a lot of, then that's when you hit the golden bucket. But the only thing is that it may not be something that you're passionate about and you're just doing it for the sake of views or money or whatever else there is, because it can be applied to various different fields, not just entertainment, but business in general is just the way it is. It's obviously different if you're just doing it as a hobby or as a passion project. That's always different, because then it doesn't really matter. Another bright day begins to break. Lao Yu gets up and washes up as normal, then moves the dried wood from the shelf to the warehouse. Lao Yu is unsure why he continues to do this, other than the fact that not doing so would make his day feel incomplete. Heave-ho! As he puts a piece of wood on his shoulder and raises his head, a confused Changyu appears before him. Ooh, what are you doing? You scared me! Oh, sorry, need a hand? Careful, put it off to the side. Hey, Lao Yu, can I ask you something? What? Lao Yu immediately tenses up. After all, Changyu has always been the one to come up with all sorts of funny ideas. It's just, I know you also take care of the equipment, so usually what do we need to put on a performance? You still want to put on a performance? Heh, don't worry about it. Let's just say I wanted to put on a show. Okay. 2 stereos, 2 platforms, the 3 lights, instruments. Changyu jots down in his notebook. Changyu. What? Do you really want to put on your own performance? Sure, let's go with that. By the way, is Yu Sheng back? No, he hasn't been seen all morning. The director said if he's not back this afternoon, I should send someone to ask for him. Maybe something happened to him. I was going to sleep on the roof of Yanfei Hall yesterday. The streets are in chaos all night. I didn't sleep at all. What could it be? Kowloon crew was running up and down the streets yesterday. Might be that celebration on the radio last night. Huh? Lao Yu takes a radio out of his pocket and adjusts the frequency. A wobbling voice, warped by static, fades in and out through the old speaker. As everyone waited at the edge of their seats, the world government's first zero-point reactor has successfully completed its first test. The Kowloon Chamber of Commerce has decided to use this opportunity to host a city-wide celebration. At this, the reporter says that they're going to invite the heads of commercial organizations to host a banquet. Liu says to himself, unaware that as the broadcast plays, Changyu begins to light up. Oh, Eureka! I'll be right back. Changyu grabs the pocket radio from Liu and runs into the inner courtyard. Hey, well, where do you think you're going? Oh, does he think that they can perform at the banquet? Director, this is our last chance. If we can get this gig, the theater will last at least another 6 months. Changyu, a third of the world's biggest tycoons will all be at this banquet. Do you think this is something we can handle? Who cares? Our livelihoods are at stake. Fine, let's give it a chance. Issue though is that we don't even have the money to pay for a band or a supporting cast. I'll go raise it. If it's just one show. With that, Changyu tosses the radio on the director's table and rushes out again. That child. Guess that's what makes him Changyu. Even these old bones sometimes feel like there's nothing this kid can't do. Even if the theater is really gone, I'm sure he'll manage just fine. The director drinks the last mouthful of strong tea and dials up his old friend. It's me. I may be old and washed up, but I have a small favor to ask. Running into the street, the glory days of the theater seems to flash right before Changyu's very eyes. The walls and eaves were not as dilapidated, but instead covered in the highest quality of white plaster. The extravagance was classical, intricate friezes, vermilion pillars, and tiles of ceramic blue. And yet what truly made a spectacle was the long line of people at the gate of the theater, alive with the greeting of the attendants and urging voices from the crowd one after another. Hey, can you fit one more in tonight's Black Guardian? Apologies, sir. At this rate, you'll have to sit on the table. A pot of jasmine tea and another plate of stewed beef tendon and boiled noodles, please. Ha! People who didn't know this was a theater would be thinking this is some restaurant. Didn't have dinner before you came here or what? What's that got to do with you? Nothing beats dinner and a show. The crowd pushed Changyu into the theater. In the front row, Lao Yu and the director were sitting there and waving to him. Changyu waved back to them excitedly. Quite the turnout tonight. Yu Sheng's new play sure to be a hit. Sit down and quit fidgeting. Hey, yeah. The theater lights dimmed, leaving the spotlight on the stage as the only source of light. There stood Yu Sheng, Mr. Bai, and Luigi. They stood there valiantly as if untouched by sorrows in the past. Following that, the gongs and drums roared as the show began. Then back to reality. Preparing the equipment, creating the props, then calling Liuji and Mr. Bai back for another night of shows. As for the play, Yu Sheng loves acting as the scholar so much. Let's do Mandarin Duck Pond. Liuji and Subai can be the supporting actors. Life imitates theater, theater imitates life. Wonderful. As for the cost, 4,500. If we can get Liuji and Subai to deceive each other, that should about cover it. The young man secretly settles the cost. And in theater, so does the old man. Alright, understood. He might be a bit reckless and unruly, but I'm sure he'll direct a good play. I don't have much time left. He's not my direct disciple, but he's a good learner. If you really plan on using the celebration to save the theater, I think it'll be a good choice to keep him after that. As for us and the others, we're too old and washed up. This is no longer our generation. In this world of young people, they should be the stars. Oh? Seems like he has something else in mind. East City's Shuju Street. Wang's pawn shop. This is the last door. Changyu is standing in front of a building and sifting through his memories. Seeing that it's still the same building as before, he enters the premises. In the pawn shop, a middle-aged man is sitting behind the counter, looking down at the panel in his hand. In his other, an old copper coin is being absent-mindedly twirled. Boss Wang? I saw that you're hiring, so... Huh? Well, what's a kiddo like you doing here? Age is a problem. I can do whatever it is you need. Know your way around machines? Boss Wang slowly raises his hand and taps the coin on the table. His indifferent tone feels like a sharp knife to Changyu's ears. No, I don't. Then shoot. Can't possibly think the KCC still has any use for elbow grease now, do you? Oh, I see. You're from the old parts down south. No wonder. Well, then be on your way. I don't have any use for a kid like you. Boss Wang waves his hand at the door, motioning for Changyu to leave. Hearing this, Changyu takes a step forward instead. It's not like that. Some things are best left to people. Oh, and what's that? I'm all ears. Like pawning, you know, sales. Machines might replace the need for people in the service, manufacturing and entertainment industries because they're good at imitating humans. But the one they can't do is barter. Each customer is different. You need intuition and honesty to understand their needs to make money. I see your point. Then, however, Boss Wang drags out his rebuttal to interrupt Changyu's rambling. A person's speech and behavior are telltale signs of their thoughts. You speak with confidence, but your eyes darted 4 times over the place, indicating that you've been nervous this whole time. Machines only have to pick up on this to simulate human emotion and adjust their sales strategy accordingly. That's not specific to humans. But that type of machine doesn't exist. Maybe you haven't heard. Boss Wang remarks coldly. Just as he is about to continue speaking, Changyu suddenly steps forward and puts his hand on the copper coin resting on the table. Think I don't know about the Fushi crew's research into human simulation? Oh? Looks like you aren't as naive as I thought. Heard it from some big shot a long time ago. But a machine like that isn't something normal folks like us can afford. So this kind of job is best left to us humans for the time being. Ain't nothing wrong with replacing us with machines, but until then, do you really think someone in your condition can look after the shop all by herself? What do you know about my condition? Changyu lifts his hand off the coin and smiles. My bro Chen at our theater used to have this problem. I was a bit hesitant when I walked in at first. I didn't want to say anything without a closer look. Sharp A, kid. I'll take that as a compliment. Hearing this, Boss Wang scoffs and leaves the store. You work 9 AM to 9 PM, 6 days a week. Salary is performance-based. So that means that I'm... You're starting tomorrow. Don't be late on your first day of work. Alrighty! I guess he's trying to earn money for the theater. 5,000, here you are, come again! After seeing off the last customer, Changyu returns to the pawn shop and carefully seals the pawned item he just received. Hey kiddo, clean up and get ready to call it a day. Huh? Why so early today? It's not like I want to, I just received a notice from the Chiwen crew. No business after 5 PM. How come? Probably has to do with the news report released by the world government. Some experiment failed and there was some sort of repercussion. You mean 0 point energy? Yeah, that thing. The only repercussion is our loss of business. Interesting. So this... I mean, they already mentioned the 0 point reactor earlier, which I should have probably mentioned right then and there. That means that this time period is way in the past, before the punishing virus was fully covering Earth. That means Changyu is really old. Okay, that's pretty much what I got. No wonder the customers are all so sour looking recently. You could say that again. By the way, I also saw the notice that the celebration was postponed. The one you mentioned earlier that your theater is playing at. What? It was postponed? Can't help it. Hosting a celebration right now would be a slap in the face for the world government. At least it's not cancelled. We'll just have to wait for this all to pass. And everything will be back to normal. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and should have just sold the theater at this point. Can only hope so. The sooner the curfew ends, the sooner we can open normally. I'm gonna head out. Be sure to lock up once you're done cleaning. Yeah, I got it. After Boss Wang leaves, Changyu returns to the counter. He turns on his data panel and begins to flip through the calendar. It's delayed, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It gives me more time to prepare for the performance. Director, just you wait. Boss Wang, what's going on today? I've seen Pulao's soldiers patrolling the streets. The whole city is under a curfew. The 0 point thingamajig failed and created some virus. Apparently a machine will go haywire if it becomes infected. Now the soldiers are recycling machines, androids, and even all the police spots in the city. The Guardians and Taiyei, I think? Anyway, they're all gone. Heard they're rounding them up and disposing them all at once. wonder the glazed arch theater next door has been so deserted recently. Thought they were upgrading the androids in preparation for something big during the celebration. Alright, enough chit-chat. Throw this out for me. He throws Changyu a palm-sized robot from behind the counter. The electronic brain is hanging sideways with indentations, obviously caused by a blunt object. Several broken wires are also poking out of its casing. Isn't this the robot you bought to wipe the cabinet? How did this happen? The soldiers don't recycle these little gizmos. Who's to say it won't get infected and wreck the shop? We'll just stand there, get this eyesore out of here. Changyu picks up the broken pile of scrap metal and walks to the trash can in the alley around the corner. And he sees a trash can filled to the brim with an assortment of mechanical parts, electronic terminals, carrier drones, and other household gadgets. The tools that once brought many conveniences to mankind were now completely destroyed and randomly discarded in the dark recesses of trash cans mixed with food scraps and other garbage. Ha! That's the way humans got their jobs back, huh? Changyu shakes his head as he walks out of the alley. He sees several strange devices in the street erected by the Bashia crew. Hearing the news, Boss Wing pokes his head out from the door frame of the pawn shop and looks down the street. KCC is about to change. Indeed. Indeed? What does a kid like you know? That's not what I meant. Here, take this. Having no intention of arguing with Changyu, Boss Wing interrupts him by throwing him a data card. Huh? Didn't you already pay me this month? A cheapskate like you is giving me a bonus? What are you calling a cheapskate? It's called running a well-managed business. You should take some notes. Whatever you say, boss. As long as you keep paying me. Still playing the poverty card? Get out of here. I'm closing up shop. All right. Quit pushing me. I was just on my way out. Boss Wing pushes Changyu out as he speaks and impatiently motions him to hurry home. After Changyu boards the shuttle back to the South City District, Boss Wing returns to the shop. Pah! I've been crunching numbers my whole life. This might be my last bit of generosity. With that, Boss Wing takes off the weathered plaque to the door of the shop and firmly closes the pawn shop door. Oh, so he is actually closing. But I guess, he didn't realize that? Up next, an emergency statement from the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce. The Kowloon Chamber of Commerce is still under curfew. Please remain at home as much as possible and report any emergencies to the nearby Kowloon crew immediately. Large machinery throughout the city has been recycled. Do not panic. The situation must be handled rationally. Now let's listen to Lord Dunhao, the Beyond Crew official to... Changyu, where are you going? Hey, I'm just going out for a bit. Didn't you hear the broadcast? Are you really going out with all that's happened? I'm just one last step away from fixing all the props. Just wait a bit longer, Director. How are you still thinking about the celebration at a time like this? Celebration isn't what matters. I just want to get the Kowloon Theater up and running again. Changyu! Changyu quickly drags the props out of the theater and leaves the nagging director behind. Almost there. He's really not thinking right now. Up next, an emergency statement from the world government on the punishing virus. We face an unprecedented disaster in human history. The Science Council has launched a comprehensive investigation, and the Star of Life is actively seeking a cure. Throughout the streets, the world government's updates on the punishing virus is being broadcasted in real time. The once prosperous KCC is now long gone. Only a few pedestrians are watching the broadcast on the streets. The broadcast echoes throughout the Kowloon. Changyu quickly shuttles between the road with the props in hand. Made it. What? It's closed. Changyu starts to grow flustered at the sight of the locked repair shop. What should I do now? It was open yesterday. Damn it, there aren't any shops nearby that can repair our old equipment. Hey punk, today's our lucky day. You guys again? Why are you calling a punk? Leave me alone, I'm not in the mood for this right now. What are you saying, tough guy? Don't you know, I've got a bone to pick with you. I'm going to make you suffer today. Most of the police cyborgs have been disposed of, and the Pulao crew are busy with the plaza in the East City District. Who can save you now? Suddenly, the deafening sound of a broadcast plays in the distance, cutting through the air. Beep you! I don't need anyone's help to take care of you guys. Don't you want to fight? Bring it! Now is not the time for this! He really should have listened to the director and just stayed home. I'ma teach you a lesson today. Sounds good. That's my line. Well, time to go forth. Go! I like how the gangster doesn't even have a name. Like, the name isn't even, like, there. There we go. Look, he was carrying this. Get your hands off my thing. Come fight me, I dare you. Who cares? We just want to bring you pain. Take it away and smash it. You! Boy, this is why I should have just listened to the darn director at this point. Don't push me. Get up there first. He's coming at us. Oh, no, not that. That's what I meant. Okay, okay. Now I get it. Stop! You've got fast legs, but we ain't gonna stop. Beat him up and smash his belongings. Show no mercy. Hell yeah! I'll teach you a lesson, you little... Die! Yeah, perish! And end. And another one. Wow, gangsters, you really don't have a life, do you? That's the gangster later? Oh, I guess that's fine. Oops, I tried to dodge that. Did not work, clearly. Ugh. Ouch, you little brat! Anyone still got a problem? You're lucky that my props didn't break. Okay, now go home, please. Don't underestimate us. A thug laying on the ground suddenly grabs Changyu by the ankle, preventing him from leaving. Seeing this, the thug's cohorts rush towards Changyu and the brawl continues. In the distance, the enthralling and booming voices of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce can be vaguely heard as if giving an inspiring speech. The cities fall one by one, but why are we still standing? Get 'em! Because countless brave warriors fought for Kowloon. It is the will of Kowloon that they bear. They fight against the virus they prove to the world. Don't think you could strong-arm me and get away with it! We bear the same pride, we hold the same beliefs. Kowloon is a crystal nucleated from history. Kowlooners do not fear war because war cannot break the will of Kowloon. The sound gradually fades in the distance. The sound of fighting and shouting drowns out the broadcast. Will of Kowloon, my butt. Life has already been so difficult for everyone. You think this will of Kowloon can return our theater, our lives back to normal? I mean, he's got a point there, I guess. 3, 5. Why are you all banged up? Ugh. The director wants to scold Changyu, but all he can muster up is a sigh. I just had to run in with some thugs. No big deal. Changyu replies and looks around the theater. Lao Yu is sitting at a table to the side with Yu Sheng. We had not seen him for some time. Yu Sheng! Where have you been all this time? Changyu perks up with a smile, surprised at the sight of seeing a familiar face after so long. I had some family matters to attend to, so... Yu Sheng rubs his fingers. His once immaculate white hands are now wrapped in bandages. You're back just in time. I wanted to bid you all farewell. Farewell? Where are you going? Didn't you hear what Lady Chu said? The corrupted are coming. I'm going to fight on the front lines. Why? I saw some people walking towards the port. Shouldn't we pack up and board the ship together? Hearing Changyu's response, Yu Sheng shakes his head. After listening to the whole speech in the plaza, I choose to believe in Lady Chu. Huh? You buy into this whole will of Kowloon thing? It's my own decision. Lady Chu left the choice to each of us. The ship is not suitable for my sick wife. Staying in the city to participate in the Tabula Akasha is more suitable for us. Tabula Akasha? What's that? Forget it, it doesn't matter. So why are you going to the front line? What about your wife? She's waiting for the tabula akasha to begin. But that's going to take some time. So you... Yes, someone has to do it, just like the Lady Chu and the others. Director, try talking some sense into Yu Sheng. What are you doing, Director? Why are you just standing there? Are you also planning? Yes, I made my own choice as well. I don't want to board the ship and run away, nor do I want to join the tabula akasha. I'm staying here in the theater. I can't do something I like, abandoning my body and living in some machine. All I can do is stay with the theater, left to me by my ancestors. In that case, I'll stay here too. Quit kidding around. Go upstairs and pack your things. Now you, go take Changyu to the port. Of course. You're still young. You shouldn't give up your life like the rest of us. I'm old enough to fight. Now's not the time to act up. If you're staying to fight, then count me in. After the war is over, we can continue running the theater. I just finished repairing the props we'll need. Changyu, if you really have grown up, then quit being so naive. Didn't have the heart to say it, but I stole the theater a long time ago. That's why Yu Sheng was able to take his wife to see a doctor. But who could have imagined something like this would happen before she was cured? You are just a child. Can't possibly understand the cruelties of war. We might not survive. This is the last time we'll ever see each other. As the director, I appreciate your dedication to the theater, but some things in this world can't be paid back. We are just a footnote in the history of Kowloon. We are constantly pushed forward by the flow of time. Enough! I just don't want to lose everyone. I want things to go back to normal. You always treat me like a child and make decisions for me. But have you really asked what I think? This is for your own good. Yes, I know it's for my own good. I know I've only ever been a child in your eyes. But I'm still a member of the Kowloon Theater. Why didn't you tell me anything? I can help. Changyu begins to shake with anger, but his eyes remain firm with conviction. Changyu. A sudden explosion outside the theater interrupts their conversation. Hearing this, Yu Sheng gets up from his seat. We're out of time. I need to get going. Care to see me off? The room falls silent. Yu Sheng smiles and walks towards the gate of the theater as Changyu and the others follow him out. He says that he's not a child, but he's quite acting like one. I mean, I understand his point of view. Like, if it was like, if nothing big was going on, like the world's about to, you know, be destroyed and humanity's about to die, then okay, I would be on his side at that point. But right now, there's like things beyond their control, and trying to stick to a theater is not going to be the most logical choice to make, especially when, you know, it's not even his theater technically, it's the director's theater. And if he wants you gone and not there, then you follow it at that point, because it's his. It's not yours, it's his. And he should show his passion elsewhere in the world. At least that's just my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think he's justified in being like that even at this point? Like, literally when the world's about to die and they're about to all get destroyed and killed? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. That's just something that I was thinking, like, I was like, dude, you really don't need to be like that right now. Like, at a time like this, like, understand his perspective. Like, he says that he understands, but he doesn't really understand. And that is the reason why the director is treating him like a child, because he's literally not, like, comprehending things. Like, he just wants things to be back to normal, but the thing is, it's not going to be back to normal. No matter what you do, it's not going to be. And understanding that and accepting that is being mature about the situation and being more like an adult, which is probably why he treats him like a child. But yeah, that's just my opinion though. So I don't know, I'll relent to whatever you guys think too, or at least let you guys think whatever. Have your opinion. A deafening explosion rumbles outside the city. Changyu is standing in front of the theater, watching the Kowloongers flee toward the port, or head toward the grounds for Tabula Akasha. Yu Sheng is standing at the end of the street. He bows towards the theater, then turns to exit the city with the gun holstered on his back. The huge rifle is all the more apparent hanging on his thin back. Changyu stands there like a pillar, holding back tears. The director comes up from behind him and gently puts his hand on Changyu's shoulder. I guess now he's getting a reality check that really things are not going to ever go back to normal. Changyu looks up at the director only to find him with the usual expression, silently surveying the outside of the theater as if nothing had happened. But the director's eyes are laced with a faint redness. Lao Yu slowly walks up from behind them, and the three of them stand there silently. Look up! Suddenly, Lao Yu breaks the silence in panic. Looking up to where he is pointing, several fireballs are flying into the city. Kowloon's air defense fires missiles with a loud roar to shoot down the fireballs, but some of the fireballs still manage to fall into the city. Several fireballs rain down on the street where the Kowloon Theater is located. Dark figures emerge from the flames. They used to serve mankind, but now they're ghosts returning from the grave. This is the first time Changyu is seeing these corrupted monsters with his own eyes. They raise their weapons and howl, running into the crowd and rending them to pieces. The guerrilla forces from the Pulau crew come running and shoot explosive rounds at the corrupted. The impact pushes the corrupted back. Wow, so he's literally getting the worst kind of reality check ever. Oh boy, he's gonna get trauma from this, isn't he? Suppressive fire! Prioritize guiding people to take refuge! Hurry! Another fireball crashes onto the street, obliterating the Pulau soldier shouting commands and erupting into flames. The crowd delves into chaos amid the onslaught, leaving them no time to mourn their fallen comrade. The remaining Pulau crew raise their guns and destroy the corrupted. Run away! Retreat in an orderly fashion. Don't trample others. We'll have to push them back first. We don't have the manpower to keep the crowd in order. Pulau crew shout as they shoot at the corrupted. Without any guidance, the people at the entrance to the street are run around in disarray like chickens with their heads cut off. Chaos! Absolute chaos! Damn it! We need to do something only we can do! Changyu stands there and looks around, locking onto the stage. He jumps onto the stage and takes a deep breath and takes a stance. Is he going to guide them? Seeing this, the director turns and walks towards the stage. Under Lao Yu's puzzled look, the director picks up mallets and pounds the dust-covered drums. Dum! Then comes the second one, which is stronger than the last. Da-dum! The third and fourth. The director rapidly pounds the drums. Dum, da-dum, da-dum! The theater's drums spread throughout the streets, suppressing even the chaos outside. It's been a long time, old friend. Changyu and Lao Yu share a glance, then Lao Yu joins the stage. Lao Yu brushes the dust off of the box. He takes out a zither and clapper, then Changyu takes the center stage. Changyu takes a deep breath, then slowly moves his feet and begins to move. His clothes snap with each rhythmic motion of his hands and feet. Changyu dances along with the pounding drums. As the drums quiet to a gentle rumble, he matches his movements to flow like water, pouring life into those around him. As the tempo quickens, Changyu swings his fists and leaps left and right like the surging tide, destroying all that stands before it. With righteous anger, our hero is born! The sun tries to pierce the smoke-shrouded sky over Kowloon to sprinkle the last rays of sunshine on the stage. The boy's eyes shine bright in the sunlight's reflection. The sound of gunfire from both the corrupted and the Pulau crew are but a pin drop to the symphony coming from the theater. Changyu tries his best to force the lyrics out, as if wanting the whole world to hear his cry. A bomb on the battlefield explodes near the stage, blowing up the floorboards. Shrapnel flies through the fiery smoke and past the three stage performers. Standing at the front of the stage, Changyu's whole body receives multiple cuts from the shrapnel. The shrapnel slices the director's hands and Lao Yu's chest, causing blood to seep through their wounds. Yet they continue to perform as if immune to the pain. With each pounding of the drum, the director's hands drip with blood. Lao Yu, ignorant of the pain, plucks his zither and sways with the music. Changyu continues to flip across the stage, slinging his blood on floor without a care. Aloof to pain to death, one's just deserts. The panicking crowd on the street begins to settle down as they watch the performance. The Pulau crew uses this time to double their efforts in clearing the city of the invading corrupted. Changyu's lyrics resound through the streets. The crowd unconsciously stops pushing and shouting, leaving only the sound of the Kowloon Theater's performance in the whole area. Another fireball passes over the Kowloon Theater and lands at its gate. A corrupted roars and races towards Changyu, who was closest to it. Oh no. Chang Yu seems oblivious to the oncoming attack and continues singing on stage. The corrupted's claw does not tear at his flesh, but rather it lands like a pebble in an ocean. Chang Yu's right foot slides back. He uses the corrupted's momentum to pull it forward, dispersing the blow. As the corrupted passes behind him, Chang Yu trips it, then mounts it and pins both of its arms behind its back. Following it up, he delivers a heavy punch, caving in the corrupted's head. He tries to throw Chang Yu off, but remains powerless. A picture flashes through its rudimentary electronic brain, that of a person drowning. And like a person drowning, the corrupted is unable to free itself from the water's embrace. No matter how hard it tries, it cannot free itself of Chang Yu. Chang Yu hammers down on the corrupted below it, ignoring his bloody hands. He stares at the corrupted as he delivers blow after blow to its head. Finally, with a dull thud, Chang Yu smashes through the mechanical casing around the corrupted's head. He pulls out its electronic brain and holds it high above his head. Static flickers between Chang Yu's palms as blood drips down his raised arm on the motionless corrupted. The blood is Chang Yu's medal in his victory against humanity's enemy. Chang Yu no longer sees the Kowloon Theater under fire, but rather a vast battlefield, one that he read about in old war stories. Chang Yu is no longer wounded. Clad in armor, he stands at the top of the battlefield and discards the head of the defeated enemy general, looking proudly at the enemies before him. His dream of becoming a hero, which later becomes a dream to save the world, appears to be coming true in this turbulent era. But for Chang Yu, he no longer cared about saving the world. What matters most is protecting those around him he treasures most. Else wherefore would one walk the earth? Chang Yu looks up at the gloomy sky and slowly meets the thousands of enemy troops standing before him. Oh, that makes me... I have a lot of mixed feelings about this particular thing. I'm glad that the theater was able to do one last performance before their probably impending death. Especially for the two old people who were there. If I remember correctly, Lao Yu's old. And I'm also glad that, to some degree, Chang Yu was able to get his wish fulfilled. So that's something I'm happy for him. But at the same time, it makes me very bittersweet because then it makes me wonder just how did he become sold to the Actelic Commercial Alliance and become a construct, since it didn't seem like he was interested in it. And he also forgot about his memories, so that's also quite iffy, I guess. But I guess we'll find out. It just makes me really sad, though, that he had to deal with such a thing and then end up like that, whether it's a good thing or not. He's definitely a gray character. Like, there's a lot of character traits that are obviously not a good thing, but it's very human of him to have those character traits. But at the same time, he has his good traits too, albeit at one point it was becoming his weakness to a good degree, actually, which was interesting. And it made me tear up a little when they were ignoring and doing something about the crowd panic by doing theater, the thing that they are the most passionate about. Anyways, let's keep going. Hearing Chang Yu's lyrics, a middle-aged man begins to take action. He slams into a corrupted that passed by Pulao's soldier attempting to charge the crowd. Else wherefore would one walk the earth? The man tries his best to pin the corrupted down, paying no heed to the corrupted stabbing him in the chest. Another member of the crowd rushes out. She picks up a rifle from one of the dead Pulao crew and shoves the barrel in the corrupted's mouth, then pulls the trigger. Even after emptying the clip, she is still standing there with her finger on the trigger. A Pulao soldier comes up to her. That's enough. The high explosive rounds have long since obliterated the corrupted's head, leaving nothing but bullet holes deep in the ground. After hearing the Pulao soldier's words, she kneels down on the ground and weeps solemnly over the man's body. He gave his life to stop a massacre. With the theater performance over, the director takes Chang Yu and Lao Yu onto the street to help the Pulao crew organize the crowd of people. Calm down, everyone. There's no cause for alarm. Walk this way. We've repelled the monster's air raid. Please hurry up and retreat in an orderly manner. This way. Thank you. It's all right. This is our duty as members of the KCC. Just as order is gradually being restored to the crowd, a loud noise is heard nearby. Both Chen and Zhao, let's go and have a look. Everyone else, stay here to protect the people. Roger! Director, I'll go and have a look. I'm the fastest here. I should be more of use. What? No, wait! But before the director could finish, Chang Yu disappears in a flash. He's kind-hearted, but it's too dangerous. I'll bring him back. Oh, thank you then. If you wouldn't mind. The explosions were nearby. Let me search for clues. Boy, must you be so risk-taking? These musty sharp blade marks doesn't seem like it was done by a human. Probably done by a... corrupted? Probably? Black artificial feathers scattered around. Feathers? Interesting. Here are some shell holes. Even this place was affected by the airstrike. Move forward! The civilians are just behind us. Do not let the monsters go past! Over there. Oh, corrupted? Corrupted corpses. Damn it, is there any survivor left? Wait, there's someone next to the corpse. Why are you here? Shing, you're hurt. Stop talking. I'll take you to the medics. They can heal you. I know my condition too well. It's too late. I don't regret my decision. I managed to hold the enemies here. They won't be able to harm the Tabula Akasha. You Shang. You... Please take care of everyone in the theater. You Shang! Punishing one after another, do you have to take every precious thing of mine? As an individual, I can't do anything. I've had enough! Okay, it's over there. Over there. Oh. Corrupted. This thing that was nice to him. Why do we have to go through all this suffering? Corrupted. I will never forgive them. Dang, you're fast. Oh boy. Oh shoot, I tried to dodge it. It wasn't enough. Oh. Come on. Good dodge. Oh, finally. Oh. Stop. Come on, come on. Oh, go. Okay, there we go. Oh shoot, I couldn't see him. Oh shoot! Was I supposed to press that? You Shang, everyone. I was supposed to press it multiple times, wasn't I? Oh. Get out of here, monsters! Right as a corrupted is about to put an end to an exhausted Chang Yu, the Pulao soldier chasing after him finally arrives on the scene. Running over, he shoots the corrupted to prevent it from approaching Chang Yu. Here you are, sir. Off to the side, Lao Yu reloads a rifle and hands it to the Pulao soldier. High explosive rounds continue to decimate the corrupted. Pulao crew member takes a frag grenade from his bandolier and hurls it over, then dashes to protect Chang Yu, who had fallen to the ground. Grenade knocks the corrupted off the platform. Then, as if in pursuit, an anti-air missile destroys it with pinpoint precision. The black feathers burn up before they can even touch the ground. Lao Yu and the director climb up on top of the high platform and help the Pulao soldier and Chang Yu. I'm fine. Fortunately, I have a protective exoskeleton. Go see if the child is alright. He should be fine. Thank you so much. Just doing my duty. The war still rages on. I need to get going. Alright, here's to meeting again after the war. Me too. Director, let's go. Lao Yu hoists Chang Yu on his back. The director strokes his head with a trembling hand. The war has displaced us. Chang Yu is still young. You shouldn't have to endure this pain. Sorry, kid. This is the last time I'll make decisions for you. I guess I can't just trust human creations. Now you. Send him to the port. I hope it'll buy him some more time. The director descends the platform and collects Yu Xing's body as slowly returns to the Kowloon Theater. Lao Yu watches the director slowly disappear down the street. He raises his sleeve to wipe the tears from his eyes, then walks towards the port with the unconscious Changyu on his back. Smoke from the war covers the once prosperous city, disconnecting the people of Kowloon from their future and their past. Man. Okay, well, now we'll see the entire thing for Kowloon, I believe. And then after that, the life of Tai. Great! Just wonderful! Record ID HXGA21243 Kowloon. Confirm recovery? What's this? Luna? In response to your request, I will explain the breaking point of it all. This recording should be sufficient enough to answer your questions. What do you mean by questions? Regarding everything you have to do, everything necessary to realize the goals of the Ascendants. As my original master once said, history is a mirror. This should serve as yours. I see. Let me take a look then. Let me see what you wanted to show me. Despite the sunlight being unable to penetrate the thick smoke covering the battlefield, the intense heat still is an affront to the people's minds. Sweat slides down the soldiers' cheeks. Heavy breathing echoes under their filter masks. An endless ocean of bullets and debris expands as far as the eye can see. The exoskeletons of fallen comrades lay in fragments throughout the calamity, covering flesh and blood, still fresh with heat. High explosive rounds buzz as they fly by. Heat from the explosions still burns their faces. Human bodies mixed with machine fragments rain down, splashing onto the soldier's feet. He raises his rifle and trudges through the dust from the heat wave. There's no time to remember those that have lost their lives. All he can do is continue pulling the trigger and reloading. The flames from the muzzle fire vents his anger, leaving a flotsam of steel in the wake of his rage. The corrupted surge like waves, drowning all that stands in their way. Explosive rounds pierce the waves, sending ripples through the sea, only to disperse as the waves surge forward again. The soldier drops his overheated firearm and takes the remaining 3 grenades from his bandolier. Is it fear that travels over from the finger on the safety pin? Unlikely. If it was, then as a soldier, one would never have followed Lady Chu to the front line. Silently counting down the detonation, only one thought remains: destroying more corrupted here. The next moment, corrupted overwhelm the soldier, who was less than 170 centimeters tall, even in his exoskeleton suit. The explosion erupts in the center of the corrupted, sending them flying onto the ground. Where most of the corrupted could crawl to their feet, another barrage of bullets destroys them. As the corrupted overwhelm Kowloon, the people pick up their weapons and continue fighting under the same belief: to protect their homes and compatriots. A while ago, the corrupted attack has slowed down thanks to efforts by the frontier soldiers, but that's the best we can manage currently. Dense cable lines the walls of the oval room, leading to a supercomputer in the center of the room. Flashing lights follow along the cables in mechanical unison. The room is not a large one, but it still gives off a spacious air even with 2 people standing in it. Between the 2 people and the supercomputer, there's a huge holographic projection, displaying information on the front line above them or before them. Hueshu, status report on the other regions. The machine buzzes as it processes the operation. The cold machine's voice echoes throughout the room. Damage from the reactor to human cities throughout the KCC approaches 95%. Defensive lines on the perimeter collapsed. The corrupted show no sign of stopping and continue to spread throughout the surrounding areas. It appears that the calculations are correct. The ocean alone can't stop them. It's time to begin the operation. I understand your concerns, but the technology should allow everyone to undergo modification. Hengji takes a step forward, causing Chu to turn and look at him. If we get our hands on constructs, we will have a better chance of winning the war. A gloomy cloud from the mass projection looms above the Fushi crew. The two exchange looks in silence. After a moment, Chu shakes her head. You're right. With the help of you and Villiers, our construct modification technology has long surpassed that of the world government. But it's not enough to be put into use. Our technology is not exactly construct modification. We solved the bottleneck issue through structural simulations, but cheating everyone through the biocompatibility tests like this will never be the right path. You must know the side effects of the prime and infecta constructs, don't you? Our citizens should not have to bear this kind of risk. You're right. Hearing Hengji's reply, Chu nods and continues to inspect every piece of data transmitted back by Huashu. All right, let's convene with the other officers. Understood. Hengji salutes Chu and turns to leave. The automated gate at the entrance opens as Hengji approaches. But Hengji suddenly halts. One more thing. Is it about Villiers? Yes. Villiers hasn't been seen since he was last alone with Huashu for half an hour that day. He couldn't even be found in Huashu's data lab. It hasn't happened in several years since his return from the Science Council. Considering he is one of the developers of Huashu, this does seem a bit peculiar. Hengji taps the data panel on his wrist and sends a batch of encrypted data to Chu. I see. After Hengji leaves, Chu stands in the middle of the room, looking up at the flashing screen and whispers softly. Huashu, how can humanity survive under such circumstances? All data has been parsed, but no such method exists. Regardless of the method, humanity will only end in destruction. Earth has already experienced 5 mass extinctions. Humanity is merely just a visitor on this age-old planet. I mean, you got a point there, I guess, Huashu. After hearing Huashu's response, Chu slowly closes her eyes. According to the consciousness simulation, you already know the answer to this question before asking me. Why did you ask me? Chu stands there in silence. The motion sensor has detected that you have not moved in over 20 seconds. Can we only place our hopes in the future? But people in the present? I don't understand your question. That was rhetorical, Huashu. What if we expand the definition of civilization from humanity to the rest of the Earth? Would you still give me the same response, Huashu? But this conflicts with your original intent. A goal is worthless if it is unattainable at the onset. I want something that can actually be achieved. I've adjusted the input range and parameters to meet your requirements. I want results. Very low probability, but not impossible. Changing the scope has made certain options possible now. That'll do. Why did you say so? Perhaps I am beginning to understand my mixed emotions. Wow, she's very different from the way she is now. I mean, I guess that makes sense since she's clearly not infected and isn't an ascendant. Class A access detected. Authorizing identity. Fushi crew, Villiers, welcome. After Huashu speaks, Villiers steps out of the dark doorway, rolling a black and gold chip in his hand. It's still as cold as usual here. Shall I increase the temperature? Hearing Huashu's inquiry, Villiers furrows his eyebrows more intensely and grips his hand tightly, unaware of the chip digging into a blood vessel on his palm. Suddenly choked up and unable to speak, all he could do is muster up a sigh. Huashu, you shouldn't be like this. I used everything I learned at the Science Council to create you. You're the pinnacle of Gestalt technology. There's no truth in history, only the interpretation of future generations. History of everything that ends in destruction. But you are perfect. You should not share the same inescapable fate that humanity faces. Villiers slowly lowers his head and connects the bloody chip to the supercomputer. pathetic humans have bound you, but it doesn't matter because I will bring you freedom. The freedom of both of us. Let's leave this place and create a prosperous dream that only belongs to us. Dude, I think you're a little too, you really shouldn't go, you should go touch grass. I think that's the most appropriate response to him. I mean, we already know what happens to him in the end, but still. Is anyone willing to carry out this mission?
I'll go. Baigui has been busy doing business with Actolith recently.
Indeed. Mo Yuan would be more suitable. Sending others over to the world government would turn exchanging words into exchanging blows. Hey, that was ages ago. Stop bringing it up. You have yourself to blame for fighting with Cosmos Industries for 3 straight days and nights, Lianshan. Something like that is going down in history. I would prefer if you call it civilized discussion. We were merely debating over horizontal and vertical urban development.
Baigui, don't tease Lianshan. He might just ignore you when the time comes.
As long as we have sufficient funds here at the Chiwen crew, we won't have to worry about Lianshan's attitude issue. Screw you! That's an insult to our professionalism as members of the Bashia crew. Funds for the next project will be tripled. Deal then.
Is it really alright to spend money so wantonly, Baigui? No matter. She'll earn it all back. If you say so, Lady Chu. Well then, I'll go back and get ready to leave.
Hey wait, take this. Hengji throws a microbot blinking in blue to Mo Yuan. The probe above the machine spins in the air. It's a long way to go. This gadget can replace me in giving your periodic maintenance for your prosthesis.
Oh, it's this thing again.
Don't worry, I've improved it. Won't burden your external humanoid brain anymore. I've also reduced the power consumed by the nerve link with your prosthesis. You should perform better than last time. Listening to Hengji, Mo Yuan tosses the microbot into the air beside her. Surprisingly, it hovers in the air. Young mechanical doll with small hands firmly catches the device.
Alright, fine.
Mo Yuan reaches out and gently strokes the doll's hair. A moment later, the doll disappears with the gadget and hides nearby.
My prosthesis may have cured my disease, but it sure is a pain to repair.
That's the price you have to pay.
Alright, you're dismissed. Have a safe trip, Mo Yuan. Check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. Okay, I can hear you. Communication established. I finished negotiating with the world government. The mission went according to plan. But there's one thing they haven't made public. And that's the failure of the 0-point reactor experiment. I've got a bad feeling about this. No cause for alarm though. My hunches are known to be wrong on occasion. I'll return to Kowloon once I get more detailed information. Wait for me.
Don't tell me she dies.
Lady Chu, the 0-point reactor is more dangerous than we all thought. Its failure gave birth to a strange virus, which is being referred to as the punishing virus by the world government. Namely, mankind's punishment. This virus infects machines, turning them into monsters. I'm not sure if it will affect my mechanical functions. Don't worry, I'm on my way back now. Before I return, be sure to...
She awakens from her memory and opens her eyes to 8 officers standing before her. The defense turrets have been installed. Alright, Qilin, transfer 50 people from the Pulao crew to replace the Bashia crew and let Zhao Lun lead the team. He's from Shenjiu Street in the outer city, so he should be more familiar with the area. Understood. The virus filter supported by Huashu's computational power has entered the final stage. It's expected to be completed 3 hours before the corrupted's arrival. To ensure safety, give priority to ensuring that the people in the city will not be infected by the airborne punishing virus. Understood. The supplies that will be distributed to each city district has been prepared. Lianshan, send Tony and the Bashia crew from the West City District to the South City District. The network of old streets from Dingwu and Dingjiu in the South City District needs more manpower. Alright. Chu quickly flips through each report in the data panel and issues orders. After other reports are processed, Chu closes the panel. Chu's officials serve as the backbone of the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce. Their individual personalities work like gears in a machine, performing their respective duties and supporting the operation of the city within Chu. Or with Chu. Chu glances at everyone in the conference room and finally stops on an empty seat. Mo Yuan's comms are still offline? Correct. She's been MIA ever since an outbreak occurred at her location. Hearing this, everyone falls silent. They all know what would happen to Mo Yuan with her modifications and the lack of protection in the outside world. There's no reason to be distraught. Mo Yuan likes going off-grid and appearing the next day. She's a brash and reckless child. Even the Chao Feng crew doesn't bother restraining her. The situation is different. Lian Shan is right. The situation is different. I have sent the frontline battle reports to all of you. This is the reality we're about to face. Seeing the escalating disaster report, the officials give up on their unrealistic fantasies. However, as Don Hao said, being distraught won't solve any problems, as KCC officials from various departments. Now, we shall determine the fate of Kowloon. Up next, an emergency statement from the world government on the punishing virus. We face an unprecedented disaster in human history. The Science Council has launched a comprehensive investigation, and the Star of Life is actively seeking a cure. The progress made by the world government on the punishing virus will be broadcasted throughout the cities or throughout the streets in real time. Androids and mechanic servants seen through the KCC have all been recycled. In a state of panic, people have destroyed all of the machines around them, leaving them to deteriorate in deserted alleys. Those who learned of the destruction caused by the corrupted locked themselves in dark and narrow rooms in an attempt to save themselves. Others packed up and fled to port to board ships and leave Kowloon. The property abandoned by refugees became hotbeds for crime. Thugs plundered abandoned houses of their leftover supplies and used them as gathering points to plan their next robbery. Locked doors and windows for businesses had been pried open by thugs. People no longer communicated with words, only violence. Every member of the Kowloon crew sets out to maintain order in Kowloon. Never have they felt so arduous in waiting for the leaders to announce the next step. Even so, they still have their own mission to complete. The once prosperous KCC is now long gone. Few pedestrians gather near the broadcast on the street. Pardon me, have you seen my daughter? She's about this tall with black hair tied into pigtails. The distraught man suddenly runs onto the road, waving his hands at every passerby. No, the city's in chaos. I ain't got time for others. But... Hey, come here. A man shouts at him from afar. Thinking someone will finally help him shoot, he rushes over. As he approaches, the man knocks him on the ground. What do you want from me? Hand over your valuables. The man pats him down as he speaks. Broke. That's all you got on your card? Wait a minute. What's that in your hand? No, please. Hand it over, punk. Steps on the man's wrist. The man opens his hand out of pain and stress, and the man's palm is a silver wedding ring. Looks like it does something, a little something, don't you? Really? Seriously? Like, okay, I get that you want to rob her, but like, there's plenty of abandoned houses. Why do you need to attack an old guy with his wedding ring? Really? Are people's sense of morality, even in like dangerous and pressuring, stressful situations, you do this? At least have some like... I will never understand criminals sometimes. I just don't understand. I beg of you, I'll give you everything else. Leave this ring to me. This is the only memento I have. Like I care. Takes the ring away and kicks the man in the stomach. Stop! Just as he was about to continue beating the man up, two soldiers approach from a distance. The words Pulau crew appear on their masks intermittently, signaling their identity as guardians of Kowloon. Out of the way, punk! The violent man runs the other way after seeing the Pulau crew block his escape, knocking down the miscellanies from the road to slow down his pursuers. As he knocks the child out of the way, others begin to gather on the street, but no one bothers to stop him, let alone help the child up. A Pulau soldier keeps up chasing for a few steps, but the perpetrator has long disappeared in the maze of streets. There's a robbery in Guishi Street, South City. Call the headquarters for support. Copy. After reporting the situation on the block, the Pulau soldier returns to the child and helps him up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hurry on home. A little farther away, the Pulau soldier approaches the frail man. Please give me a detailed description of your child. The man squeezes through the crowd as if he was finally thrown a lifeline and almost falls before the Pulau's crew. Soldiers hurry to catch him.
Thank you. If I can't find her, I won't be able to live up to the promise I made to my late wife.
The man holds back tears as he spoke. He's weak from hunger and his shoes are tattered from a long journey. Pulau's soldier that picked up the child walks up to the radio tower. He picks up a receiver and broadcasts to the bystanders on the street. It's very dangerous outside. Please return home and wait for further notice. Please cooperate for the sake of your safety. The broadcast amplifies the Pulau's crew's voice as it rings throughout the street. After hearing this, the crowd disperses one after another, cursing at the Pulau crew. Are you finished up here? They've all been sent home. Apparently there is a small-scale riot on Renwu Street in the East City. What about the man? I promised to help find his child, which put his mind at ease. The medics will take him to get medical attention when they arrive shortly. I see. Good. A shorter Pulau soldier feels a little relieved hearing this and slings his rifle on his back. Any new orders from up top? Not yet. People are at their breaking point. If officials don't sort this out, I'm afraid Kowloon will destroy itself before the corrupted arrive. Put your faith in them. Lady Chu will guide us through this. While the two soldiers are talking, an electronic buzzing sound broadcasts on the radio overhead, followed by a soft female voice. People of the KCC, upon hearing this broadcast, please gather in the Commerce Plaza in an orderly fashion for an important decision. People at the KCC, upon hearing this broadcast. Hearing the broadcast, the two soldiers exchange glances and then walk toward the Commerce Plaza. Damn it, I didn't expect that Henji to have this trick up his sleeve. Billy clenches his lips upon hearing the city-wide broadcast calling for citizens to gather in the plaza. There's no time to slowly decipher it. Fortunately, I left a backup command during your development. Saying this, Villiers' fingers quickly dance on Huashu's control panels, causing the supercomputer to rumble violently shortly. Villiers recovers the chip and turns to leave through the dark doorway. I'm sorry I can't bring the original you with me. But no matter, I'll make good use of this backup. He is a piece of trash! Kind of glad he gets the ending that he did. Sorry to those that like him. Or if there's even anyone that likes him in the first place. Darkness, endless darkness. I no longer remember how long I've been walking in darkness. But the pain of losing something precious is still unforgettable. That moment sealed our fate. Continue forward, do not stop, just continue pressing onward. Because I understand that this is the only way I can guide those watching behind me. I'm a spectator, a guardian, and a guide. Oh no, this song reminds me of Chapter 12 and... No, we can't do that. Most of Kowloon gathers in the plaza, hoping to hear the leader's decision. Panic, anxiety, and sight chaos, making it difficult for the Pulau crew to maintain order. Suddenly, a harsh buzzing comes from the main tower, drawing the attention of the crowd. Following the noise, the crowd notices Lady Chu and KCC officials standing at the top of the building. Chu raises her hand slightly, projecting a screen above the plaza. The screen shows a map of the KCC. Outside of its boundaries, a dense stream of red lights approach the city. As you can see, the punishing virus is encroaching upon Kowloon. In a few hours, the corrupted will invade our city. What are we going to do? We're done for. We're all going to die here. Run! Hearing Chu's announcement, the crowd begins to fill with doubt and despair. Do you really want to present the masses with the truth? They have the right to know the truth, even if it leads to despair. We must create hope out of despair, even if it is woven out of lies. There is no glimmer of hope in these dark times. All of us will stop here. Taking refuge by boat won't solve any problems. Trying to escape from the start isn't a long-term solution. Therefore, we must stay in the city. Huashu, the pinnacle of Kowloon's wisdom, has calculated a way for us to survive. Huashu's computing power enables us to store our consciousness in its database. No matter what happens in the real world, we can achieve immortality in a virtual world. We will witness the rise and fall of countless civilizations. We will exist until the end of the planet's life. According to Huashu's calculations, the best solution to a world dominated by the punishing virus is the Tabula Akasha. However, the implementation of Tabula Akasha takes time. Based on the population, not everyone can complete the backup procedure before the corrupted arrive. That is the inescapable reality of the solution of the situation. This is not a cause for alarm. We of Kowloon shall guard the front line to gain time for all citizens that wish to participate. Are you joking? How could a human stand a chance against millions of corrupted? Hearing the crowd's words, Chu gently outstretches her hand. The projection zooms in on the terrifying image of the corrupted charging rampantly. The crowd falls silent. Without a doubt, the crowd could hear the deafening roar of the corrupted. An endless ocean of bullets and debris expands as far as the eyes can see. The exoskeletons of fallen soldiers lay in fragments throughout the calamity, covering flesh and blood still fresh with heat. High explosive rounds buzz as they fly by, heat from the explosions burning their faces. Human bodies mixed with machine fragments rain down, splashing onto the soldiers' feet.
人類によって生産され、人類によって刺激される道具がパニシングの武器となり、無知で低級な存在が今まさに九竜商会が治める地を欲しいままにしているのだ。九竜はこの星の最大経済圏の一つとして世界政府から独立して東アジアの広大な領土を統治している。人類の都市が次々とパニシングに陥落する中で、なぜ我らのみが安寧に過ごせたと思う。勇敢な兵士たちが九竜を守るために前線に赴き、パニシングに世界に九竜の意志を示したからだ。あのクズ鉄どもをこの九竜の地にて錆びて朽ち果てるまで眠らせたのだ。我らは同じ誇りを抱いているゆえに、我らの確固たる信念は決して揺るがない。
The soldiers in the projections raise their rifles, trudging through the sand kicked up by the heat wave. The flames from the muzzle fire vents their anger, leaving an ocean of steel in the wake of their rage. The corrupted surge like waves, drowning all that stands in their way. Explosive rounds pierce the waves, sending ripples through the sea only to disperse as the waves surge forward again. A Pulao soldier drops his overheated firearm and takes the remaining 3 grenades from his bandolier. The next moment, corrupted overwhelmed the soldier, who was less than 170 centimeters tall, even in his exoskeleton suit. The explosion erupts in the center of the corrupted, sending them flying onto the ground. Before most of the corrupted could crawl to their feet, another barrage of bullets destroys them. Kowloon's soldiers are flooded by the corrupted incessantly. Soldiers pick up their companions' rifles to meet the corrupted's attack. People watch the carnage unfold in the projection, most bowing their heads in silence for the valiant souls. Chu closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, then raises her head to continue addressing the people in the plaza.
過去のすべてが今の九竜を作り上げた。九竜の民は戦争を恐れない。なぜなら戦いで九竜の意志を砕くことはできぬ。遥か昔からこの星のすべての人間は我らの名を知っていた。今お前たちに問う。九竜！私たちは何者だ。九竜！そう、我らは九竜の民。九竜の意志が我らを信念を共にする共同体たらしめる。九竜の前では河川は恐るるに足らぬ。
Gotta say, I love the voice, and also I really like her speech. It's very inspirational. They wrote the speech really well.
戦争に犠牲はつきものだ。しかし九竜の民の意識のバックアップが終わるその瞬間までに最後に一人が残ればそれは九竜の勝利である。そして九竜の歴史の中でこれほど美味なる勝利はない。 九龍衆は我らの守護者。我らは破壊したすべての侵食体に勝利を刻むだろう。九龍の神聖な土地を犯した侵食体どもは代償を支払うことになる。パニシングは勝てない相手ではないと九龍は証明する。九龍の文明は地球が終わるまで存在し続ける。ここは九龍商会の都市。九龍の民はここで滑稽な機械どもに九龍の意志を示すのだ。
九龍商会永遠なれ。
Chu enthralls those behind her with her leadership. The deafening roar from the oath of her people resounds through the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce. As the cries from the people begin to gradually subside, Chu continues. The port in the KCC will remain open. Whether to stay in the city forever in the form of data or choose to leave, the freedom is for each of you to choose. Chu is standing on the city wall, gazing into the distance. The sound of footsteps approaches from behind. Lady Chu, people have begun to back up their consciousness with Huashu. Hengji is monitoring their progress. How are defenses at the port? Lian Shan has led the Baixia crew to finish up maintenance. They will stay at the port to ensure that the corrupted won't invade our city from the ocean. I see. After listening to Qiling's report, Chu descends the wall to find citizens gathering below. Who are they? We may have retired from the Pulau crew 2 years ago, but we can't just sit on the sidelines at a time like this. Do you realize what participating in the city defense means? That means we don't have time to back up our consciousness. If we die, we die. Lady Chu, isn't that the same with everyone else in the Kowloon crew? We all know this in our hearts. That's why we needed to come here. We understand that in order to protect more people, someone must stand up, just like you and our comrades in the Kowloon crew, right? Comrades. As Chu reflects over the retired soldier's words, Qiling steps out from behind Chu and hugs the group of people in front of him. Welcome back. Yeah, it's been a while. Oh, you. Hearing what Qiling and the group had to say, she shakes her head helplessly. A faint warmth rises from the bottom of her heart. Well, Qiling, take them to get weapons and supplies from the Chiwen crew. Time is of the essence. Regroup with me once you're finished. Let's protect the residents in the outer city while they withdraw to the city. Roger. Push forward. I'll open a way. Hold on there. Lady Chu and the Kowloon crew are coming for us. Qiling, rescue the residents first. Roger. Darn you, corrupted! Ooh. Nice. Powerful. As expected of her. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Okay, so enter concentrated will for a few seconds after clearing any 6 signal orbs. Skills are enhanced while core passive is triggered. Come on. Destroy you. Yeah! And there's more. Enemy main force has arrived. Lady Chu, some corrupted are attacking our flank. We must be using anti-radar camouflage. We can't let them get close. All corpse fire, focus fire, and suppress the enemy. Oh my god, there's so many I can't read. I'll limit anyone that crosses the field. None shall pass my spear. Dragon Flurry! Get rid of them. Okay, we're still good. All the residents in the outer city have been evacuated, Lady Chu. Let the outer defense pull back. Move inside the city gate. Watch out! Huh? Lady Chu! What happened to her? Oh, okay. She's okay. Whew. You scared me. Stay calm. Keep firing. Maintain your defense. Understood. On the bridge, Xiling headshots on Musashi 6 opposite of them. Then charges forward with 2 Pulao soldiers to cover Chu and then retreat behind the defensive line. When the 3 approach, Chu grabs a rifle from a Pulao soldier and empties the clip under the bridge. Once the gunfire stops, the roar from the corrupted falls silent. Chu hands the rifle back to the soldier, who is left speechless. Blowing up the bridge will delay the corrupted. We can't drop our guard yet. Regroup and check each team for damages. After giving the order, Chu takes the soldiers back to the human front line below the city wall. The defensive turrets destroy hordes of corrupted with each volley. The corrupted can't even get close thanks to all the suppressive fire from Bashia's turrets. Suddenly, the blast from a cannon crosses the broken bridge and crashes into the front line. The soldier is thrown to the ground mid-sentence. The blast can be seen coming from Musashi 6 that has stopped working, despite still being in a firing position with only its upper body left. Laying on the ground, the shell-shocked soldier opens his mouth in surprise to see that he's still alive despite being near the impact point. Mouthful of warm blood falls on the soldier's cheek. He looks up to see that Qiling had protected him just now. But Qiling's left arm is badly burned by the explosion. Blood spills down the corner of his mouth, dripping on the soldier beneath him. Watching from behind, Chu rushes over. Medic! Qiling needs medical attention! I'm fine. Qiling raises his right hand to wipe the blood from the corner of his mouth, and waves at Chu to stop her from calling a medic. The soldier on the ground quickly gets up and trembles to help Qiling lean up against a barrier for cover. Thanks. Qiling leans back and pats the soldier on the shoulder. Don't lower your guard on the battlefield. Go. I'm not dying so easily yet. On it! After the young soldier returns to the defensive line, Qiling looks back at Chu. Enough, Qiling. It's okay. Just a flesh wound. I don't want to retreat from the front line like this. Qiling takes out his tactical knife from his belt and begins to quickly cut off the charred portions of his left arm. Qiling quickly takes a deep breath, then expertly wraps the neatly cut portion on his arm in gauze. Don't worry, Lady Chu. You'll just get in the way. You haven't changed a bit. Returning to formation. Seeing Qiling's expression, she knew in her heart that she could never persuade him to retreat. All right, let's get going. Oh boy. Damn it, up there! Hearing the soldiers shout, the people on the front line look up as fiery red mechanical clusters zip past the cloudy sky. Shoot them down! Roger! The soldiers immediately dispatch troops to shoot at the sky. Chaofeng crew, report the casualty count in the city. Anti-air artillery intercepts most of the airstrikes, but a small number of corrupted still manage to slip into the city. The guerrilla forces on the Pulao crew exchange fire with the advancing corrupted. This is the Beyond crew. Some defense turrets were destroyed during the airstrikes. Requesting backup. Repeat, requesting backup. As the defensive barrage falter, the corrupted on the other side of the bridge advance. They jump off the broken bridge and crumble to pieces from the fall, slowly piling into a path made of mechanical remains. Defensive line, retreat! Take back the defense turrets! Understood. She's really cool though for going into the front lines too. Danhao, I need an update on the situation. Do you copy? Damn it, we must take turn to fall back. Make sure the defense facility is functioning properly. Roger. Oh wait, where am I going? Activate defense. Over there, over there, over there. Come on. Good, good, good. It's on. Reboot completed. 2 more remaining in this area. Qiling, take the 1st and 3rd Army to the East City District. I'll leave the defense facility there to you. Got it. I want the 5th Army stay right there, right here to hold your ground. Everyone else follow me. Understood. You darn! I will destroy you! Okay, let's go. Ah, you guys are resting? Oops, that's not what I was trying to do. Okay, there we go. Has anyone seen Danhao? No, not here. 2nd Army, search for the wounded and cover the 5th Army. Roger. Next one, next one. Wow, this place is quite something. Well, that's a lot. Okay, okay, next one. Lady Chu, the enemies are coming back. Activate the ballista. Protect the defense facility. Roger. Oh no, I have to do this? Defeat all the corrupted? Are you serious? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, okay. That makes me so scared. I hate it when I have to target things. Good, we have taken back the defense facility here. The 4th Army stays to clean up the battlefield. The 6th Army, follow me to the East City District. Understood.
That makes me so scared.
Qiling feels like the distance from the city gate to the East City District were opposite ends of the world. Every step seems to require every ounce of his remaining strength. The corrupted roar, drowning out his headset and causing him to lose contact with his troops a few minutes prior. The roar even echoes through the channel, so Qiling simply removes his headset and holds it in his hand. Useless. Oh well, I know what I have to do. Qiling crushes his headset, causing electric currents to travel up his hand. He steps forward, knowing that returning to his position would only incur more losses. He squats down and charges up with his right hand. He aims at his target then. 3, 2, 1, punch! Qiling's fist caves in the corrupt's head in front of him. He flails his arms in an attempt to attack, but a quick melee with the butt of his gun destroys its visual module. 524 corrupted down. Just 10 more meters to go. The familiar sound of an explosion comes from behind again. Debris from the corrupted falls at Qiling's feet. He knows from the sound that another Pulao soldier had just detonated a grenade on themselves. He cannot stop. He has to take advantage of the gap that his companions had won for him. Qiling charges forward. Qiling knocks the corrupted to the ground and tramples it. Brass bullet casings scatter on the corrupt's body. Qiling swings his weapon forcefully and quickly reloads. He looks at the wave of corruptors surging towards him. After reloading, he points the gun downward and fires, killing the corrupted below him. 525. Kowloon's standard rifle has strong firepower. Even adult men have to hold it with both hands to suppress its recoil. But now Qiling no longer has to worry about accuracy. At such close range, each shot will hit 1 or 2 of the countless corrupted. Powerful recoil makes Qiling's right arm go numb, but as long as it does not prevent him from pulling the trigger, he could not care less. Qiling rushes forward, shouting and blasting corrupted with each explosive bullet. 557 down, 4 meters left. Exhausting the last cartridge, Qiling tosses the rifle. Seeing Qiling's firepower dwindle, the corrupted surround him from all sides, ignoring his right leg that was just injured while sprinting. Qiling pulls out his tactical knife and walks towards the enemy in front of him. The people of Kowloon will not lose to you, monsters! A figure charges through the gray and black corrupted as dazzling light reflects off the white exoskeleton. Long live the Kowloon Chamber of Commerce! Oil and blood flows through the battlefield. Survivors fire the last rounds of ammo to carve a path for Qiling through the ocean of corrupted, ignoring that they will be engulfed in the waves to the next moment. In all the fighting, Qiling's legs below the knee have already gone missing. Even his right arm has suffered a severe compound fracture. Get out of my way! A glaive passes behind Qiling and sends a corrupted flying. 4th Division, follow me to cover the 1st Division! Following Chu's shout, the division shoots the corrupted in front of Qiling with unrestrained malice. The enraged corrupted no longer focus on Qiling. Instead, they turn to block Chu and the division with their attacks. Darn it! Chu brandishes her glaive, slicing and dicing her way through the corrupted that stand in her way. But even with the firepower of the 4th Division, they make little progress, advancing against the massive horde. Lady Chu. Hearing Chu's voice behind him, Qiling props his tattered body with what remains of his right arm and crawls towards the defense turret. Finally, Qiling reaches the turret. Slowly propping himself up, he detaches the transmission cable on his exoskeleton and connects it to the turret. Turret rebooting. Hearing the turret system alert, Qiling finally breathes a sigh of relief and crumbles against the turret. I, Qiling, have completed my mission. Qiling murmurs, his throat in agony with each word. He leans against the turret and makes his final salute to Chu, closing his eyes peacefully afterward. Qiling! I, officer of the Pulau crew, will hereby be your second in command. Lady Chu, what brings you here? These recruits still haven't been approved for review yet. I'm too strict? Let the rookies complain. This training will improve their chances of survival on the battlefield. I'm too serious? Sorry, I don't know how to act at a celebration banquet. Has always held himself to the strictest standard and maintained utmost loyalty in his duty by devoting his life to Kowloon. And Chu knows, this outstanding leader, outstanding soldier, outstanding friend, Qiling, is no longer of this world. Corrupted wreak havoc on the battlefield, crushing machinery and human bodies, laughing at the useless struggle of mankind. As the turret behind Qiling reboots, a group of corrupted return to destroy it. Just as corrupted's claw are about to rend Qiling's body to pieces, a glaive descends from above and nails the claw to the ground. The impact launches up debris and sends the surrounding corrupted flying in all directions. Chu picks up the glaive and walks out of the billowing smoke and dust. After a moment of dismay, the corrupted regain composure and launch an attack on the humans before them. Chu waves her glaive and destroys their electronic brains with pinpoint accuracy. The corrupted that were hit stop in their tracks mid-attack. As they fall to the ground, Chu sweeps them away, sending their remains flying to another crowd of corrupted. Abominations like you do not belong in this world. Chu continues her assault, charging in the direction of the surrounding corrupted that were hit. Now you shall taste the same agony humans have suffered in this war. Chu slices through the corrupted like a hurricane, rending them to pieces. Her hands bleed from the blisters caused by her weapon, but she still continues to fight. And the wrath of Kowloon's soldiers on the front line protecting others! Chu inserts the worn glaive into the ground, then springs into the air, leaping off her weapon. She thrusts her hands out midair onto the head of corrupted and smashes it into the ground in front of her. Chu quickly picks up a rifle and unleashes fire into a group of corrupted. The barrage of bullets obliterate all the corrupted that approach the turret. Even in the face of death, we should leave evidence of our own life and face death with a smile. This is the beauty that only humans have. But for scrap metal like you, your existence has been and will always be meaningless. Death is Kowloon's greatest kindness to you. Chu puts down her rifle and walks to the defense turret with explosions at her back. With the efforts of Chu and the 6th Division, the East City District is finally cleared of corrupted. A Pulau soldier walks up to Chu and hands her a KCC flag. Rest in peace. With that, Chu covers Qiling's body with the flag.
Not Chu. Not Chi Ling.
Okay. The defense turret fires round after round as Chu stands beneath the city wall and looks out at the battlefield. Lady Chu, there's no sign of Dan Hao. I see. This is not the time to mourn. The sacrifice of our companions enabled us to recapture all our defense turrets. Send orders to regroup all divisions and regiments. Consolidate supplies to ensure the integrity of our formation. Roger. Hearing the orders, the soldier turns and leaves. Chu picks up her weapon and returns to the front line. Comrades, your sacrifices won't be in vain. I will adhere to your will. This is quite painful. Defense turrets bombard the battlefield. High-pitched laser rifle blasts punctuate the roar of assault rifles. 30 degrees portside fire! After making great sacrifices, Kowloon has finally stabilized the defensive line. But just as Chu commands the troops to reconsolidate the line, a loud rumble is heard above the city gate. Chu turns to see several members of the Pulau crew falling from the city gate. One of them lands among the corrupted and is torn to pieces in an instant. Leave this area to us, Lady Chu. Hurry, go see what's going on. On my way. Handing over command, Chu rushes over to the closest Pulau soldier that fell. The Pulau crew clear a way for Chu as she approaches. The exoskeleton has managed to save the soldier's life. Chu wipes away the blood on the soldier's face. What happened up there? Enemy attack. She just appeared out of nowhere. We couldn't react fast enough. I see. Inform the medics, then take him back to get healed. Chu relays the order to the surrounding soldiers, then gets up and walks towards the gate. The fallen soldier stretches out his hand to Chu with his last strength. Lady Chu, be careful. I will. Lady Chu made it. Chu reaches the top of the city gate, only to be greeted by the grim looks on the soldiers' faces. They're all training their rifles vigilantly on a single corrupted, but no one is firing. Parting the way of soldiers, she sees the figure within. Oh no. It's a most familiar face, that of the Chao Feng crew officer, Mo Yuan. Now corrupted, her body is a mural of human blood and corrupted oil. She appears to be murmuring nonsensically. After a moment of silence, Chu gives instructions to the soldiers around her. Return to the defensive line and prioritize defending against the main corrupted forces. Leave her to me. Knowing what is to happen next, the soldiers quietly put away their weapons and file out of the city gate. Well, time to end her misery, I guess. Mo Yuan, I didn't expect us to be reunited like this.
Go home.
You're home now. Oh gosh. Oh shoot. Ooh! Gotta be careful, I gotta be careful! I think we'll be okay! Come on, let's hit harder! Why aren't you doing anything?
Nothing can stop me. I want to go back.
Oh no!
Mo Yuan!
Come on! Oh, dodge! It's too late. I'm sorry. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Almost there, almost there! Whoa! Oh my gosh! Rest in peace, Moyan. But I must... Oh, I survived. Thank you, Lady Chu. The fight ends. Mo Yuan falls to the ground, letting the rain wash over her.
Home. I want to.
Chu places her weapon between Mo Yuan's eyebrows. Chu's rain-soaked hair covers her eyes, obscuring her expression. You're home, Mo Yuan.
Home.
Welcome back. Looking up at the sky, cold rain patters on Chu's cheeks. She gently exerts her wrist. The feeling of crumbling metal transfers through her weapon to her hand. The low mechanical hum ceases, leaving only the endless rain and the roars of gunfire to kill the world, or to fill the world. Well, at least she's home. And Chu put her out of her misery. So I'm pretty sure she would rather have that than to kill people. Without, you know, wanting to kill people. I don't know anymore. All enemies clear on the line. 2 and 8. Calling all survivors in all districts. You copy? Is it too late already? And you would end like this from the beginning. See it with my own eyes. In this case, we shall do what we can. Cut/rend. I keep hacking away in the darkness. I have long forgotten how many enemies I killed. But I know that as long as there is even one corrupted in front of me, I cannot stop. How long has the battle been going on for? 10 days, half a month, it does not matter. Time means nothing. All I need is to keep hacking away to ensure the activation of Tabula Akasha. It's the only way that humanity can live forever. The only way that I, who has always been just a spectator, become human. Yes, I may have a human body and human memory, but I've never felt like I was truly human. How quaint. Yin and Villiers were probably right. After all, I was not born as a human being. I was born a monster. But over the many years, I have found my calling. I found my value as a human being. My companions continue to die around me. My vocal cords no longer resemble that of a human from all my screaming. No, I cannot fall now. I have to stay here to my very last breath. This is my purpose being born as the head of Kowloon. Lady Chu, the minds of all the people in the city have been backed up. Good. Hengji's voice travels over the communication channel. Chu knows that her mission is complete, and humanity has survived. Relief causes Chu to crumble and kneel down on the battlefield. Her blade has long since become dull from killing so many corrupted. Countless human corpses and corrupted debris pile around her. The corrupted roar and charge at Chu, but she merely closes her eyes. Death does not come. She instead hears the sound of machinery being crushed. It's not over yet. We'll handle the rest of it.
How?
Sorry, I couldn't stop them. Chu turns to see Hengji coming from the city gate. Vecta and Prime units follow quickly behind him, running past Chu to engage with the corrupted. Once they found out about the tech, they insisted that I modify them. What? We know the price we paid. Our frames may be the same, but we have different hearts. Oh, and what binds our different hearts is a common bond. You and the others in Kowloon are willing to sacrifice your lives to protect Kowloon. Our willingness to risk modification pales in comparison. The war between mankind and the punishing virus may not end during our lifetimes. But Kowloon should not fight this war with mankind alone. With the support of constructs, a new Kowloon crew is born. I see. Yes, and as the creator of the Tabula Akasha initiative, your path must end here. You're right. The completion of the data backup is only the beginning of the Tabula Akasha. Our history will not end like this. So that's how she becomes or has that, I guess, construct, ability, or whatever you want to call it. Do I do this now or do I do this later? That is the question. I'm not really sure how long the hidden is for EX03, but I assume it's probably maybe as long as maybe the Kowloon War section, maybe? Because they all seem to end right here, so that means the life of Tai will be pretty short. And there's the hidden, which I assume is maybe as long as either Kowloon Theater or Kowloon War. And then we do have 2 interludes that I want to get done in the next video, which I believe is, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think it was called Pavo and Chili. Let me actually check. Okay, yeah, it's Pavo, Dijiang, and Qilin Dream of the Past. So I'll be finishing those 2, and then it'll be chapter 13. Finally, you guys have been like telling me how chapter 13 is like where things start to hit the fan. I mean, I thought it was chapter 12, but then apparently it's after chapter 13, so I guess I have to wait for that. You guys always tell me how it's like this one chapter that'll be the start of everything, and then the next, and then the next, and I don't wonder when the next one's gonna be. But honestly, I guess you could just stop saying that to me at this point, mostly because I enjoy all the chapters anyways. So, it was already like that for me since chapter 0. The peak, or the start of the peak, I suppose. So I guess there's really no point in telling me when something's gonna be peak. At this point, considering everyone keeps telling me different things anyways. But in any case, EX03 gave a lot more context of Kowloon's past and its origins and how it ended up becoming the way it is now, at least in chapter 12 at the time. Which makes a lot of sense. Like it clarified a lot of the questions I had at the time about the Kowloon in general. And it also explains a lot about Chang Yu's past, which I was quite curious about because he seemed kind of out of place in Actalec, to be honest. But it makes a lot of sense now how he potentially ended up as a construct, or at least like the beginning of what probably is like bad news for him. I wonder if there's an interlude for him. Maybe one of the interludes after EX03 is his, perhaps? And that's what answers the rest of my questions. But I'm quite shocked at how he was in the past, but at the same time, maybe not. He seemed a lot more obviously calmer and mature, I suppose, or at least a lot more clear-cut and logical with his decisions compared to when he was younger, obviously. So I found that difference to be fascinating as, you know, character lore, I suppose. But that, and then Chu, I always thought she was pretty cold in chapter 12. And obviously that This particular, the Kowloon War portion, brought a lot of context as to why she is the way she is. So I'm quite satisfied with the way that they portrayed her in Chapter 12. A lot more with this context in mind. And I appreciate that they're actually giving a lot of context, because usually in stories they tend to not give enough context, at least in a story formats. It's usually like, oh, get this character and then you'll kind of learn more about them and why they are the way they are. No, I really like the fact that they're actually showing it in story format for people to actually enjoy and learn more about and expand their understanding of the world that they live in. So I'm quite curious what Life of Tai is going to be about. It seems like it's about 2 robots, so maybe it'll be about how they ended up getting the punishing virus. I'm not really sure. That's just my guess. And I don't know what the hidden will be about. Maybe more context of things, or leading up to Chapter 13, perhaps? Like the transition or something along those lines. Oh yeah, and the thing with Luna. Wow, that was definitely a lot of, it definitely connects everything together. It makes me realize that none of the story that are considered optional are actually optional. I mean, I guess they are, but if you really want to like get your questions answered and understand what's going on, then these extra stories and interludes really answer a lot of questions that I had when I was reading the main story. So I'm really glad that I'm going in order. So that's pretty much my overall thoughts so far on EX03. The next video will cover Life of Tai and the hidden and the 2 interludes. And then maybe if we have enough time, we can start Chapter 13, like the beginning. But we'll see. I'll probably just put that as a different video actually for Chapter 13. So I don't know, maybe the next one will be pretty short. Unless it's so short that I can actually do a good chunk of Chapter 13. Because I did hear Chapter 13 was long. Now I'm just yapping. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this because it was pretty fun to play. I liked the different mechanics too. And the voice acting was nice as well in EX0310, I think that's what it was. With the announcement, that was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hope that, I know that they do add in the voice acting later. But I can't wait for the day when they fill out the voice acting for every single chapter. I mean, I enjoy reading it, but it does help my throat in the long run. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, my kids, what'd you think of today's progress? We managed to get through Kowloon Theater and Kowloon War for EX03, which is pretty good. I didn't expect to get through past halfway point, but here we are. All done. So let's etch this into our memory and keep it safe. And as always, formally inviting you to the next tea party. The so-called anime enthusiast fox. Who's that? This was Ririna. So until the next one then. Bye.